Hello, and welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving into the render tool in Coohom, an incredibly powerful yet often overlooked feature. In our previous video, we built this modern cabin from scratch, carefully constructing the structure, sectioning different areas, and adding the top layer using the custom modeling tool. Now, it's time to bring it to life with high-quality renderings, the kind that make people question if they were even made in Coohom. One thing I've noticed is that many Coohom users tend to stick with the basic rendering settings. They don't always take the time to explore how the rendering tool actually works, missing out on achieving truly realistic, high-end results. But with the right approach, you can create stunning renders that look as if they were produced in an entirely different high-end software. The best part? Everything design, build, render, and furnish happens within Coohom. There's no need for external programs, no extra tools. It's all in one place. That's what makes Coohom such a great software, especially if you have the Pro version. You get everything you need for a seamless design process without jumping between multiple programs. So if you want to experience the power of Coohom and enjoy a hassle-free workflow, check the link below for a special offer on the yearly plan. And no, this video isn't sponsored, though I honestly wish it were. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Coohom's render tool to achieve results like the ones in these images. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to take your renderings to the next level, creating professional, polished visuals all within a single page. Let's get started. Before jumping into the render settings, there's something crucial to understand. A render is only as good as the materials and finishes you choose. If a render turns out bad, the issue often isn't the settings. It's the materials, colors, and finishes used in the project. Sometimes a paint reflects too much light, or it's too matte and absorbs all light, making the scene look flat. That's why before starting any project, you need to think ahead. Consider the reflective index of materials. Do you want them to be glossy, matte, dark, or light? Take this example. This is the same paint in each stripe. Each rectangle is the same color, but with few adjustments to reflection, refraction, and so on. See how it behaves differently in the same space and changes with the environments. Understanding how color and light interact is key to getting realistic renders. Coohom's material library is vast, offering a wide range of finishes. However, if a client requests a specific paint or finish that isn't available, you'll need to source it externally. This is where Coohom's material editor comes in, a tool I absolutely love. It lets you upload custom materials and adjust them to fit your needs. Let me show you how it works. Go to Workplace Personal Library. Select Textures and click Upload Texture. If your material is ready, simply upload it. If not, use the Realtime material editor where you'll find every type of material: stone, glass, plastic, paint, water, and more. Once you select a material type, you can fine-tune its diffuse color, hue, brightness, reflectivity, and more. This gives you complete control over how it interacts with light. The best part, you can preview how the material will look before committing to a full render, saving time and effort. When you're happy with the settings, name the material, select its category, and save it. It will then appear in your account uploads, ready to use. This ensures that your materials and finishes behave exactly as expected, creating a render that looks realistic and professional from the start. Now let's move on. Let's start by taking a simple render, just as a beginner would. If you're rendering an exterior scene, all you need to do is choose the aspect ratio, set the render quality, and select a template. In this case, we're working with an outdoor scene, so we'll go with the outdoor reality daylight template without adjusting any settings. Let's take a render and see how it looks. Now, keep in mind that we've already chosen the right materials and finishes for this design, so the result will still look decent. As you can see, the exterior finishes are fine, and the image isn't bad, but it could be a lot better. Right now, this render has no lighting adjustments. We haven't added any interior or exterior lights, we haven't controlled the sun, and we haven't fine-tuned anything yet. This is just a basic version, a raw image without any enhancements. Now, let's see how we can turn this into a higher quality, more harmonious render. There are two ways to improve it. 1. The quick and easy way, using real-time rendering. This tool allows you to render in real time, adjust lighting, tweak finishes, and even make major scene changes on the fly. 2. The manual way, customizing the realistic outdoor template. Since not everyone has access to real-time rendering, I'll start with this method because it's available to all users. Once you click Customize Template, a page pops up. Here, you should select realistic outdoor, daylight, or night. Either will work as long as it's realistic outdoor. Click Confirm, and it will take you to the next step. Now we're in the custom lighting settings. This page is minimal and straightforward, so you won't feel overwhelmed with unnecessary details. Everything is simple and easy to control. On the left panel, you'll see the light templates and sunlight settings. Here, you can turn the sunlight on or off depending on the mood you want to create. If you want a bright daytime look, keep it on. In this case, I'm going for a cozy nighttime atmosphere, so I'll turn it off. The first thing we'll do before placing them, switch to 2D view. This helps you see exactly where the lights are positioned and ensures even distribution across the space. Add a rectangular light. Place it on the first floor, but instead of enlarging it too much, I prefer keeping it small and adjusting the brightness from the right panel. Here's where you can fine-tune the lighting. Color and temperature. Set the color temperature to warm for a cozy ambience. Brightness. Adjust the intensity to get the right balance. Double-sided light emission. If this is enabled, the light will shine both up and down. Since we only want light shining downwards, turn this option off. For the color, we want a warm orange glow. Not too red, just enough to create that cozy evening feel. Adjust the slider until you achieve the right warmth and softness. Now let's fine-tune the light color and brightness. For this warm, cozy atmosphere, a brightness level between 400 and 600 should work well. Adjust it based on how intense you want the glow to be. Below the setting, you'll also find the light scattering option. This controls how the light spreads, whether it shines directly downward at 90 degrees or diffuses more. Since we want uniform interior lighting, we'll keep it at 90 degrees to avoid creating awkward light spots. You can also adjust the height if needed. Now that we've set up one rectangular light with the perfect properties, we don't need to go through the same process for each light. Instead, we'll duplicate this one across the first floor, ensuring even distribution. For a realistic render, we need to consider how light interacts with transparent materials, like windows. If the lights inside the cabin are on, they should cast a glow outward, just like in real life. To achieve this effect, we'll add rectangle lights facing outward. Duplicate the existing rectangular lights to maintain the same color and brightness. Rotate them 90 degrees forward so they shine outward through the windows. Resize them to fit the window dimensions. Adjust the light scattering. Instead of 90 degrees, set it to around 13 or 14 for a more natural glow. Repeat this for each window, resizing as needed. This step adds depth and realism, ensuring the exterior view reflects the warmth of the indoor lighting. Next, we need to place spotlights or downlights to add more variation. We've already positioned the main hardware light sources from the library, so now it's just about adding the light. Choose any spotlight or downlight that fits the scene. Adjust the color and temperature to match the warm, cozy glow we've established. Set the brightness to around 300 for a balanced effect. Duplicate them across the first floor for consistency. Add the last two downlights to the front door area. You can change how they scatter from here. Now we are done with ground floor top lights. Here's a simple trick to achieve that luxurious floor lighting effect you sometimes see in high-end renders, where it looks like light is coming from the floor, almost as if there are hidden spotlights embedded in it. To recreate this effect, all you need to do is take the same spotlight you've been using, rotate it upwards so that the light shines directly from the floor up. Position it near the doorway to create that elevated, premium feel. This subtle trick instantly enhances the ambience, giving your render a more expensive and atmospheric look, as if the entrance is subtly illuminated by hidden architectural lighting. Now we can say we are done with the ground floor light settings. Let's move to the top area. Now, let's add the first rectangle light to the slanted wall at the top of the cabin. This will ensure that the tilted surface gets proper illumination. Select a rectangle light and drag it into place. Switch to 2D view for precise positioning. Raise it upwards and use the rotation arrows to tilt it properly. Check from the inside view to make sure it's positioned well. Keep a safe distance from furniture and walls. Placing it too close will cause harsh shadows and unnatural reflections. For better visibility, hide the custom modeling layer to clearly see the light's placement. Since we have a high wall, raise the light slightly higher, but again, avoid touching any objects. Adjust the light settings, tweak the brightness, and duplicate it for an even distribution. Let's illuminate this straight wall here. Copy the same rectangle light and rotate it 90 degrees to face the straight wall. This will create a balanced lighting effect, making the material and texture stand out. Experiment with brightness settings to complement your chosen materials and color palette. Adding floor lights for a luxurious glow. To create that elegant upward glow, we'll place floor-mounted lights. Duplicate the existing spotlight and move it to the top floor. Adjust the position and height to achieve the perfect look. Duplicate as needed to spread the effect evenly. If you have any extruding architectural elements that need highlighting, duplicate the rotated lights and adjust their placement. If the light appears too short, use volumetric lights. They offer longer light rays for a more dramatic effect. Volumetric lights work best for exterior lighting, adding depth and realism to the structure. Final touch: balcony illumination for stargazing. To make the balcony area more atmospheric, especially for nighttime views, add small volumetric lights along the balcony's walls or railings for a subtle glow. These lights will enhance the mood and create a soft, immersive effect for stargazing nights. With all these elements in place, the lighting setup will feel natural, cinematic, and visually stunning. Now that the lighting setup is complete, let's save our template and take a test render without adjusting any further settings, just to compare it with the first one. Comparing the before and after renders. The first render had zero lighting adjustments, making the scene feel flat and lifeless. The second render, where we only added proper lighting, already looks dramatically better. Key differences: the space now feels cozier and more inviting. We eliminated harsh sunlight, achieving a neutral, balanced ambience. The scene now has depth, warmth, and a natural feel, all thanks to lighting alone. This proves how minor lighting adjustments can completely transform an interior or exterior without any complex edits. Next step, enhancing the environment. Now that the lighting is perfectly set, the only thing left is to adjust the environment to complement the cabin's aesthetic. Let's move on to fine-tuning the environment settings to enhance the render even further. Back in the render page here, keep in mind that changing the environment will directly impact how your space looks. Choose an environment that complements your design. You can choose a preset environment or upload your own. In this case, let's go with one that would help us create a cozy, nature-inspired feel. These are key environment settings, and this is how they affect your render. Environment rotation. Adjust this to control where the sun is positioned. If the sun is behind the building, add a sun effect to ensure the cabin casts a natural shadow. If the sun is in front, adjust accordingly to create proper lighting effects. Environment brightness. Controls how bright the entire scene appears. Best kept between 0.7 and 0.9. Any higher can wash out the exterior finishes. For a moody, nighttime effect, set it around 0.5. Ambient light brightness. Adjust the overall brightness of the render. For a dramatic look, keep it low, 0.2 to 0.3. For a brighter scene, increase as needed. Tone settings. Default is natural, but you can make it warmer if desired. In this case, we'll keep it natural to maintain realism. Ambient light reflection for glass surfaces. Higher values make windows more reflective, reducing visibility into the interior. Keep it around 3.8. This allows some interior visibility while maintaining realistic reflections. Other adjustments and effects are here. Indoor brightness. Keep it at 100 for a natural look. Effect settings. Original color retains the natural hues of your materials. Standard, colorful, or bright modes can enhance vibrancy. Since we're going for a dramatic, wintry, warm vibe, we'll keep it dark and warm. Now that the environment settings are in place, we can take the final render. Let's see how the space looks with these refinements. Now check these results. The render looks great and the environment complements the structure well. Remember, this is just minor adjustments and tweaks. The more you practice, the better the results become. But this is definitely better than leaving the render blend and unpolished like this first version render. Now let's elevate the rendering process using the Realtime rendering tool. This tool is a game changer because it allows you to see adjustments instantly. No waiting, no guessing. Every tweak, every light placement, and every material adjustment happens live, giving you complete control over the final look. Step 1. Setting up the real-time rendering. Once you open the real-time rendering, you will be presented with a window here for live visuals, which you can enlarge. You can switch between 2D and 3D views for precise adjustments. Re-add all lights following the same process as in the outdoor daylight template. I will go ahead and add all the lights like we did before. Now we're ready to explore the real-time rendering settings. On the wrist side panel here, we find the environment settings that control the overall mood and realism of the scene. Environment brightness, keep it low to avoid excessive brightness and haziness. Ambient brightness, set it around 0.2 for a balanced, cozy feel. Experiment with it to find what suits your design. Tone, keep it natural for realism. Ambient light reflection, reduced to 5.0 to ensure the cabin's interior remains visible through the windows. Sunshine parameters, keep the sun off for a controlled lighting setup. Since we have a live preview, simply tweak these settings until the scene matches your vision. Camera adjustments. Here you modify height, clipping, and angles for better framing. Depth of field, DLEF. Turning this on allows you to create a focal point in your render. Click to select the focus area, leaving the surrounding areas blurred for a cinematic effect. Adjust blur intensity. Set it below 20 for a subtle effect, or higher for a more dramatic look. Exposure settings. Keep it around -0.2 for a warm and cozy atmosphere. Indoor brightness. Set between 70 and 100 for a naturally lit space. Ambient light blocking enhances realism by improving spatial depth. Post-processing effects adjust contrast, saturation, and brightness as needed, but keeping it standard usually works best. One of the biggest advantages of real-time rendering is the ability to modify materials instantly. For example, you can change glass types from the library to see how different styles affect reflections and transparency. You can also swap out materials for flooring, walls, and furniture in real time, saving time and avoiding the need for multiple test renders. Once you've fine-tuned all settings, save your template and proceed with the final render. This approach ensures that your render is significantly more refined and realistic than any previous versions. By mastering real-time rendering, you maximize efficiency, accuracy, and visual impact, making it an essential tool for achieving professional-grade results. Now, hit that render button one last time and take in the masterpiece you've created. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing everything come together exactly as envisioned. The mood, the lighting, the perfect harmony of elements. Of course, this was just a quick walkthrough to keep things concise, but if you take the time to tweak, experiment, and explore the tool further, you'll unlock even greater possibilities. Beauty is subjective. After all, what I find to be the perfect lighting, you might see as too soft or too harsh. That's the magic of design. I'd love to see your renders created in Coohom. Feel free to share your work with me on Instagram at Sophicite. Let's connect, inspire, and grow as designers together. I truly hope today's tutorial was helpful and gave you insight into making your renders stand out. There's so much more to explore, and I'll be creating even more detailed videos to help you refine your art and push your creativity to new heights. Leave a comment below. Tell us what inspires you. And if you found this valuable, like, share, and subscribe, because success comes to those who keep learning, keep experimenting, and never stop creating. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video, where we'll take your skills even further.